No, we're going one and one. Do I have anybody else that wants to speak? Niagara Skydive.
Thank you very much, Madam President, Board of Directors, Committee Chairs, fellow skydivers. Thank you very much for your presentation. It's very touching. I don't think that our debate here today is whether indoor skydiving or tunnel flying is a great discipline. I think what we're here to debate is whether it is the same as skydiving. I'd like you to indulge me for a moment, and I want you to think that we're on a boat, and we're floating down a river, and we're paddling away. This activity is called boating. If you take the boat away, you're swimming. You're not boating anymore. It is a different activity. And both activities are wonderful and great experiences, but they are different. Go one step further, the river dries up, we are no longer swimming, we are now walking. It is another activity. It's not boating, it's not swimming, it's walking. We define skydiving in all of our manuals as 3 phases. We have preparation, in-flight, free fall, canopy, and technical. We have been proclaiming that for the better part of 50 years. The tunnel represents one of the 4 pillars of a skydive. It is simply a different activity. The CSPA was kind enough to send us an opinion by the Sport Law Strategy Group, dated April 2016. And it was the Sport Law's opinion that this was a separate activity. It's not skydiving. And if we chose to accept them into the CSPA, we would actually have to change the purpose. And the purpose of the CSPA for the last 55 years has been to promote skydiving. And we define skydiving as 5 phases. When the tunnel flying is simply one of those 5 stages. We are very defensive of those people that have traveled across the country to protect what we now have, as you are very defensive in wanting change. All of this is wonderful. We all come out to argue our pieces. We're going to debate it. We're going to vote. We're going to laugh and cry and go and drink beer and be friends at the end. But we're all here to convince other people that our position is correct. What funds all of this? What's paying for this room here today, for these people's per diem, for the wonderful presentations, is money that was generated by drop zones. Drop zones create revenue for the CSPA. I asked Mr. Flanagan what portion of our revenue came directly from participants. It was about 53%. What pushes that 53% is that guys like me, guys like Joe, guys like Ian, require people that jump at our drop zones to pay $89 to become a member. We generate revenue. What this motion is suggesting is that we are now going to invite a different discipline in, which shows no promise of increasing revenue and a huge responsibility of expenses. The tunnel does not require its participants to join the CSPA. In fact, the tunnel isn't even a member of the CSPA. They could have very easily joined as a club. We have Unicorn Skydiving here, we have Chilliwack Skydiving, we have all sorts of associations of people that have decided that they wanted the right to come here, express their opinions, and vote. And all that takes is $89 and 5 other people that feel the same way that you do. I would think that the tunnel in Montreal has been around for probably 7 years, and the tunnel in Toronto has been around for 3 years, and they've never taken the time to actually become a member. And now they are asking us to invite them in and support them. To say there is no additional expense is being naive. I've been involved with this association for over 20 years and was the chair of the coaching working committee for 10 years. And let me assure you, there are huge expenses. If we invite these people into our association and change our purpose, here are just a few of the things that we will have to pay for. We will have to develop manuals. Now, I'm told they've already got manuals. Well, the USPA had manuals, but the CSPA required their own manuals. So we will have to develop manuals. We will have to develop coaching programs. We will have to develop a course facilitator program. That will require that we develop 3 manuals: a workbook, a reference manual, and a course manual, or the facilitator's guide. I was the chair of the coaching working committee for 10 years. We integrated Coach 1 and Coach 2. Let me assure you, the cost of developing those manuals is going to be $30,000. Now we have a requirement that we publish those manuals in both official languages. A manual has about 40,000 words in it. Translation is 14 cents a word. Do the math. There's going to be another $15,000 just to translate the manuals. And they are bringing no more money into the association because they are not required to be CSPA members. They're not CSPA members themselves. We'll have to train judges. We'll have to come up with judging manuals. We'll have to pay for the judges to go to competitions. And of course, translation. The current proposal asks for us to recognize this discipline. The proposal also says that we will preclude them from access to the defense fund and the team fund. This is commonly called discrimination. We invite people into our association and we refuse to give them access to all of the privileges that all of the other participants have. It's discrimination. Why would we ever change our purpose and publish that we are intending to discriminate against a discipline that we have just invited into our association? I respectfully request that we vote no and that we reconfirm the CSPA's exclusive use and its purpose to foster and govern amateur sport parachuting. Madam President, board members, committee chairs, fellow skydivers, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Niagara Skydive.